expert.
Welcome to Movie.
Welcome to the Men's 911 Show. Each week, mental health host experts Sharon Jackson and Tara Evans share their wisdom on how to help men afflicted with female abuse. The mission is to support men who have suffered interpersonal abuse and assault of domestic violence. More than 830,000 men fall victim to domestic violence every year, which means every 37.8 seconds, somewhere in America, a man is battered. Tara and Sharon tell the untold stories of abused men to bring awareness to the changes that need to take place so that men of all ages can receive the support and services they need to reach their potential for a healthy and meaningful life. Tara and Sharon help guide you on your way to improve outcomes for this underserved population. Okay, audience, here is Men 911 with Sharon Jackson and Tara Evans.
Well, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Men's 911 Show, coming to you on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. on KWRH 92.9 FM and KXOK 102.9 FM, simulcasting on the My Genre Radio Network, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Go to the usradionetwork.com. In today's society, approximately 1 in 8 men will experience domestic violence in the form of physical or psychological trauma or stalking by a female partner. The mission of the 911 show is to bring awareness and education, show support, provide resources and tools so that men can restore their identities as leaders, providers, and protectors in their families and communities. Today, Tara and I welcome our guest to the show. She spent 28 years in the United States Navy and retired as a Master Chief in 2017. During her 28-year naval career, Master Chief Marnie Keaton served in many locations around the world, to include Naples, Italy, Holy Loch, Scotland, and Kuwait. She completed 6 deployments in the Mediterranean and Western Pacific. She was recognized for many outstanding accomplishments. Her personal awards include the Meritorious Service Medal Award, Navy Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of 4th Award, and the Navy Achievement Medal Gold Star in lieu of 5th Award. Master Chief Marnie Keaton is currently a civil servant working for Commander, Navy Air Force Pacific as a training administrator for the aviation maintenance rates. She and her family reside in San Diego, California. Welcome.
Welcome, Mornay, to the Men's 911 Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. And we want to take this time to thank you for your service. So many people didn't come home from deployment, and we're just so thankful. We thank God that you were able to go on 6 deployments and come back home safely to your family. So we thank you for your service, and we are so glad that you were so successful in everything that you dreamed of accomplishing with the United States Navy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So
grateful.
Yes. So on the Men's 911 Show, we generally talk about issues that affect men. And so I thought it would be a great time to talk about veterans today. And we see so many veterans who are homeless, who are, struggling with mental illness. And, when we talk to them, sometimes they tell us that it's difficult for them to access services, or, the process is really difficult. So I wanted to bring you on here today and just kind of talk through that process, because there's always someone listening who may benefit from this information. So we're just going to talk about some of the things that people have spoke to us about and see if we can get some answers for them. Is that okay?
That sounds great. Sounds good.
Great. So as a retired veteran, what can you share with us about some of the benefits for veterans?
Okay. Well, of course, anybody who's ever been in the military or heard about the military or listened to any commercial, you would always hear about the popular VA benefits are, of course, the health care. Um, there's education out there that'll help you get your degree or degrees. They have life insurance, and they also help you get home loans that are backed by the Veterans Administration. So those are probably the popular benefits that you hear about for veterans.
Absolutely. So when we talk about, just health, because we have a lot of veterans that are, seeking, like I said, they're homeless or they're struggling with mental illness. What do you know the process for them to actually, where they can actually access the benefits?
Well, I'll be honest. Because I retired, my process and how I went through getting my benefits is probably different for someone who did not retire.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to any vet that's out there that did not retire, first, if you have your DD 214, when you exit the military, you should receive a form called the DD 214, and it talks about if you have what your nature of service was, meaning if you had an honorable discharge, dishonorable discharge, maybe you got out under general honorable, but under general conditions or administrative conditions. So there are different discharges. But I would say the first thing would be is to see if you have your DD 214. If you don't, that's okay. The next step that I would do is go to the Veterans Administration. There's one in every major city. Go to the Veterans Administration and tell them first that you need, well, you can tell them what you need, because then what they'll do is they'll help you to get your paperwork, because it's all based on the paperwork on getting things started as far as your benefits are concerned. Because benefits, sometimes for some of them, you had to be in for a certain amount of time, or you had to be in during war, or it's different nuances to what benefits you are available to you based on your service. So any vet that's listening, please go out there, get to your Veterans Administration, and if you do, whether you have your paperwork, your DD 214 or not, go to your local Veterans Administration and tell them what you are in need of, what benefits you are looking to get, or ask them what benefits you qualify for.
Great. That's great information. Our second question is, with all of the resources that's available for veterans, why is there such a large homeless population among veterans?
Well, I would first say that if someone is homeless, probably 9 times out of 10, they don't have access to any resources like the internet. They may or may not have a phone. So the information is out there. However, for someone that is homeless, the information is not out there, because there's not someone riding around saying, "Hey, come over here and talk to us, and we can tell you what your benefits are, how we can help you to get off the street." And so I will first say that. The other thing that I will say is, because they're homeless, they don't know what they're entitled to. So if they cannot get to a VA, the Veterans Administration, we call it the VA for short, they cannot get there. Here, like for instance, I'm in San Diego. So here in San Diego, there's a nonprofit organization out there called VVSD, which stands for Veterans Village of San Diego. There's others out there like DAV, which stands for Disabled American Veterans. Those nonprofit agencies are out there, and they can be your middleman that can act and help the veteran get off the street and get the benefits that they are entitled to. Um, I would also say that um, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought right quick.
That's okay.
That for instance, VVSD here in San Diego, they set up a thing year round. They call it the Veteran Stand Down. And what they do is they go out where they know the homeless are at, and they say, "Hey, if you're a veteran or you believe that you're a veteran, come here." And they essentially set up a camp over the course of 5 days, and they try everything to one, get them their paperwork if they don't have it, get them and their families off the streets, and get them to the resources that they need where the Veterans Administration can help them. So I say all this to say that we need those nonprofit organizations, those middlemen out there to assist the homeless, because the VA itself is an under-resourced entity that has resources, but they don't have the people to go out and find homeless and say, "Hey, this is what I can bring to you." So again, if you know someone that's homeless or a homeless vet, to get them some help. If you can't get them to the Veterans Administration, try to find a nonprofit agency in the area that helps vets, like Disabled American Veterans, or like I said, here in San Diego, they have VVSD. I would say that that's where it needs to start. And yeah, I can keep talking about this for forever, so I'll be quiet now. Let you go.
Okay. So we've talked about the homeless population, but there's also a vast amount of mental illness that some veterans have. And so are there programs out there that assist veterans who have PTSD and other mental health issues?
So there's definitely programs out there that can help. Again, if any veteran that is listening that has PTSD or any mental issue, the first thing that they can do is go to any VA medical facility. They can go right now. The VA medical facility is open 24/7. I'm talking about a major VA hospital. You can go into the emergency room of that hospital and you can tell them that you feel that you have a mental issue and you can get some assistance right away. So that's the first step. Get to a hospital, ask for some help. The next thing is, if you can, I also looked this up today. I learned something. There are another entity out there for you that can help. It's called the Vet Center. I looked. There's some in St. Louis. There's one out here in San Diego. There's one in Oklahoma. They have counselors. They have group therapy. They have things specific to PTSD, to sexual assault and trauma. They have a laundry list of things that they can offer and help them as well. They can also, there's a 1-800 number that they can call. And at the end of the program, I'll give out that number so that, people have time to write it down. And then if they have access to the internet, there is a website called Military One Source, where they can go to there and they can click on the link. There's a link that says, "Are you having a mental health issue, or do you believe you're having a mental health issue?" And they can click on that link, and that link will get them in touch with someone that can get them the assistance that they need.
Awesome. The information that you're giving out is so valuable because, like you said, oftentimes people, even the family members, just don't know where to seek help. And so I'm really excited that you were on the program today. Sharon, did you have any questions up to this point?
No, it's all good.
Okay. All right. So we'll continue with the questions. We often hear on the news and in articles that the quality of care at VA hospitals is substandard compared to civilian hospitals. Why are our veterans receiving such poor health care?
Okay. Um,
I know these questions
that's
are
a
just terrible, right?
yeah, no, but I mean but those that's the things that you hear in the news, and for a while it was true. So I will first say this. So I will say, since I retired in 2017, first of all, I do use the VA healthcare. I do have other resources, but I choose to use the VA healthcare system. Um, and so from the time that I retired in 2017 until now, there has been some vast improvements. But let me first say this to just kind of give you some history of, and this is just Marne's opinion on what was going on. So I would say prior to 911, when the Twin Towers were hit, um, the VA did not have the resources to support the demand that they had as far as patients and the services that the veterans needed. So now 911 happens, and then that system that's already overwhelmed gets bombarded with even more veterans coming in because of um, the Gulf Wars and the war in Afghanistan. So, the VA system got hit hard. Um, but here's the thing: social media came about and started bringing a light to, hey, we have this, we have these veterans over here that are not getting the assistance that they need. And so now, because of 911 and unfortunately the Gulf Wars and the war in Afghanistan and social media, those things have been brought to light. The VA is getting the resources that they need, and that's financial and employees. Um, they're getting the resources that they need, and they are making improvements every day. So I'm here to tell you, if the VA system was poor as it was prior to 9/11, I would not be getting my VA services there. So I am here to tell you that that it has improved dramatically since before 9/11. So if
Well,
you're
that
out
is
there,
great to hear.
yeah, give it a chance. Any vet that's out there, don't listen to the media all the time. Go to your local VA and find out what's available to you. Get out there because they do have some decent programs out there. So,
Awesome. And so my next question is, can you speak on the disability process for veterans? Um, Me personally, I've been trying to assist family members with this process, and I guess I've given up. So please,
right,
help me and our audience figure out this
right,
process, because I believe a lot of our veterans would qualify for disability benefits, but they
right,
just don't know where to start.
right. They don't know where to start. Um, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I'm definitely not an expert on, and I don't believe that there's a certain process because I think it's all based on each person's their particular what benefits they qualify and what they can get based on their service. Um, so again, get to the Veterans Administration, find out what you are eligible for, and then go through the process to get those things that are needed. The next thing I mentioned earlier, so I didn't even know about this, that every major city has a vet center. The vet center is there. Um, they offer non-medical counseling. They're located in the communities, so they can give you mental health care. Um, they got returning service members transition. They got service members care for those who are still in the military. So I would say get to that vet center and see what assistance that they can provide if you need help trying to get your benefits. Um, so like I said, this was something new. I didn't even know
until I started doing research. So look for the local vet center, get over there, tell them what your issues are, and see what assistance they can provide. And of course, you always have the Veterans Administration. But again, I would like to mention there's other entities out there that are nonprofit, like Disabled American Veterans, and see if they can provide you assistance too. But now that I found the vet center, I would refer anybody to get to their local vet center in their area.
Great. That is such valuable information, because I just feel so bad that, our vets, they protect us, and we can't even get them quality health care or get them the assistance that they
Absolutely.
need. And it's just, it's heartbreaking, that they've
It is.
put their lives on the line and we can't even provide their basic necessities. So I'm just so grateful to have this information, because at the covering we do plan on assisting veterans there, and so
Right.
having this information and knowing what's needed in the community, as far as nonprofits being the advocates for veterans, the go-between
Mhm.
person between the vet and the Veterans
Absolutely.
Administration, I think is very important. So again, we thank
Yes.
you for this information. I guess we're going to go to some more questions. Sharon, nothing
Okay.
from you?
No, I think it's important. The veterans, I know from having worked in it as a social worker, that the services have really improved. And any veteran, I think, would be happy if they would reach out and go to those vet centers or disabled veterans and get a caseworker and help
Mhm.
walk them through. There really are some great services out there for them. They should take advantage of them.
And Sharon, do you
I
have
agree with you, Sharon. Mhm.
Sharon, do you have a
Mhm.
number of veterans that come through your office as for counseling? And are you able
Well,
to assist them
mostly
with
they
benefits?
receive services through the VA center because we have John Cochran and Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis.
Okay.
But they can also, there are services through counselors and psychologists that contract with the Veterans Administration. So they shouldn't hesitate at all about reaching out and asking a therapist if they take VA benefits.
And Sharon, when you actually talk to veterans, what are some of the needs that they tell you about? Because I know you counsel everybody. Are they specific to one thing, or is it just strictly PTSD? Or
I think they have problems like everyone, similar mental health problems, but primarily it's PTSD
Mhm.
and a lot of head trauma. A
Okay.
lot of our Iraq vets and our younger vets have had head trauma. And the issue with head trauma is even in regular medical treatment, we have healthcare they have more trauma, better health trauma than they did years ago to help stabilize people. But then they need the follow-up care, right? They need the rehab. So good head trauma rehab is important. I think we're doing better at that. But I think the primary what I'm seeing with the younger vets are PTSD and head traumas. But there are older ones, or Vietnam vets. Older people were always hesitant to get any type of mental health services. That goes for veterans. And there's a pride thing to admit that you have a mental health problem. So sometimes difficult. But now we just know so much more about mental health, and treatment's different. No one should be afraid to ask for it and get it. So I think, the help is out there. Just reach out. Just reach out and get it.
Thank you, Sharon. Mornay, did you need to add anything else?
No, I guess the only other part that I was going to say is, I know because you were talking about a family member and trying to help them get the benefits that they need. Once they go to the VA or the vet center or wherever they're going for the counseling to get them what they need, they have to stick with it. They have to keep calling the VA, keep going back up there. Don't expect that the counselor or whoever you're talking to is going to keep up with what's going on with you, because they have more than one person to deal with. So you have to be your own advocate, so to speak, and make sure that they
are addressing your needs.
Well, thank
Right.
you.
And I think you'll find the military culture is really alive in the veteran centers. I know when I took a client to the local veteran hospital, they always they asked the person, "What is your last four?" And it was such a military climate. I get a kick out of it, but veterans understand that climate. They can relate to that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we are going to take a short break and then we'll be right back with the Men's 911 show.
Do you want to become a radio show host, or do you want to create a radio show? Well, Dr. Stan Fine can help you to have your own radio show and put you on 100 cities daily across the U.S. And you can immediately start recording from a live radio studio. As a radio industry veteran, Dr. Stan Fine has 12 years of experience and has produced and hosted over 1,000 radio shows with over 10 million listeners. Dr. Stan Fine knows how to make this happen for you. He's a pro, and he can turn your dreams into a reality. Dr. Stan Fine will help you with everything from learning how to promote your show, develop a host persona, interview techniques, market your show on social media, teach you how to get guests and sponsors, and more. Dr. Stan Fine can put you on the air nationwide daily to 100 cities. If you're interested in making your dream come true, if you want to see how it all works, then give Dr. Stan Fine a call at 314-710-8413. That's 314-710-8413. You've got nothing to lose, and Dr. Stan Fine can help make your nationwide radio dreams come true.
Hey, listeners, saying thanks to your customers is nice and polite, but expressing your gratitude in memorable and ongoing ways can boost your business. At Promo Experts LLC, we exceed our customers' expectations. For over 20 years, our product knowledge and experience has helped them with their marketing initiatives and trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland. Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit publishingconceptsllc.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today, or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
In today's economy, there are more people looking to buy and sell businesses than ever before. When a company owner needs to sell their business, they can't just stick a for sale sign in the window. They need the assistance of a business broker to locate and vet potential buyers. On the other side, buyers rely on the broker to help facilitate the process of evaluating potential businesses and franchises for sale. A Transworld Business Advisor is the solution for both scenarios. Transworld Business Advisors focus on three core concepts: business brokerage, franchise consulting, and franchise development. Transworld has specialized in the sale of business and commercial real estate. Today, Transworld Business Advisors is a global network of brokers offering a turnkey solution for those that want to build a solid business and future for themselves while maintaining a balanced quality of life. With our comprehensive training program, full marketing support, and local field support, you won't have to start from scratch. Our trained experts and members will help you every step of the way. Transworld Business Advisors has 40 plus years of experience, 10,000 plus businesses sold, and 600 plus brokers, 250 offices worldwide. For a free initial consultation, call Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100. Again, that's Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100.
Many small businesses do not have a marketing manager. In many cases, it is the company owner that drives marketing and sales efforts with the gut instinct to survive. Even when small businesses do have a marketing manager, though, many of them are trying to navigate through the complex sales and marketing landscape with little to no success or budget.
How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money is a general purpose, how-to-business book written for business owners and marketing professionals by business owners Dr. Stan Fine and Joseph W. Clote. This guide is not intended to be read as a front-to-back chapter book and rather serves as a quick reference guide. Refer to this book as you need specific information and skip around as needed.
Promoting your business with limited money is one challenging feat, but there are unlimited ideas you can apply to achieve objectives you pre-establish. So, put on your marketing hat and let's take action to start showing your prospects the value your business delivers.
A little you need to know about Dr. Stan Fine. During his 60-year career, Dr. Fine has become an authority on sales and marketing business development issues. His presentations have made him much in demand as a speaker and seminar leader. He has taught business development topics at numerous universities across the United States and has conducted over 500 sales and management seminars. Some of Dr. Fine's credentials in corporate America are currently Dr. Fine serves as a co-host of the To Your Business radio show on KDORH 92.9 FM in St. Louis and a co-host of Nationwide Daily Radio Show on my Genre Radio Network on the Zeno Media platform. In 100 cities, he is also on a daily TV show on the Valuable TV and the Real TV networks. Go and get a copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money today.
To purchase your copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money, go to It's Your Business website at www.itsyourbusinessradio.com.
Welcome back, audience. You are listening to the Men's 911 Show. In today's society, approximately 1 in 8 men will experience domestic violence in the form of psychological trauma or stalking by a female partner. The mission of the Men's 911 Show is to bring awareness and education and provide resources and tools to support men so they can experience healthy lifestyles and nurturing relationships that reinforces responsible manhood and preservation of families. If you are a victim of male domestic violence, we encourage you to contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. For more information about the Men's 911 Show, please email us at mens911show@coverthefamily.org. To learn more about our programs or to donate, please visit our website at www.coverthefamily.org. Now back to the Men's 911 Show. Mornay, are you there?
I'm here.
Sharon, are you here?
I'm here.
Yay, great. We are back with our guest, retired Master Chief Petty Officer Mornay Keaton. Welcome back to the second half of the show. So, Master Chief, on the Men's 911 Show, we speak with a number of men who have been victims of domestic violence. Can you share with us a time you had to address a domestic violence issue where the male was the victim?
Absolutely, Tara. So in my experience, I actually had 2 sailors that worked for me that were males, and both of them were victims of domestic violence. Before I get into that, let me first say that men, you can be victims of domestic violence. Don't think that you reporting or you telling someone or you getting the help that you need it says that you're not a man. It has nothing to do with that. Everybody needs some help. So if you are experiencing domestic violence, please get the help that you need. With that said, I had two sailors, both were males. One was being abused. Him and his children were being abused by his wife. Now she had some mental issues, and once we were made aware of the problem, of course, as his chain of command, we were able to step in and we could help and get him the resources that he needed. Now, of course, the military member, they don't have a choice in getting, if it's counseling that they've been referred to or whatever that is, whatever that looks like for their case, they have no choice but to go through that counseling or whatever was recommended. For the person who is not in the military, the military can only, I'm sorry, not the military, but it's they call it the family advocacy program. They can only make recommendations. They cannot force the civilian to do any of the recommendations that were given, but the military member will have to go through the counseling or whatever was recommended. In the second case, my sailor and his wife were being abused by their young adult son that had some mental issues. And so, in both cases, again, once it finally comes to light, the things had gotten so far along that by the time we found out about it, it was like, oh my God, you've been dealing with something for a year or 2 years or more, and we were none the wiser. And so, again, there are resources out there to help you, but if you're active duty, you have to let your chain of command know that you're having some problems so that they can get you the resources that you need to help you fix the problem. In both cases, we were able to get in there and help them. And it's not trying to. We always want to try to keep the family together if possible. But if it doesn't work out that way, it doesn't work out that way. But I can tell you that both of my sailors were able to get the counseling that they needed, get into classes that were offered. And they were both able to finish out their military careers and have a successful career at it. So it's not a deterrent. You can get the help that you need.
Thank you. Sharon, I think this is probably the first time that we've heard about a male being abused by their son or a child. I think this is the first time that we've had that on the Men's 911 show. And then to think that the other sailor was being abused, him and his children. I think we hear that more often than anything, being abused by his wife, him and the children.
Right. And I think too, I just wanted to just add to it that a lot of times we think women who do this have a mental illness, but that's not always the case. I mean, sometimes it is, but sometimes these women, it's just pure manipulation and a behavior problem.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's mental health and you need to get help, but other times it's not. And it's so difficult for men. And I would think even more difficult for a military man to think about that, to think that he's being abused. And so it's good to know that the military is there to support him.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. The resources are out there. Like I said, in both cases, we could have stepped in earlier and helped. It's just that we were unaware that this was going on. And so normally things have gotten really bad by the time the chain of command finds out about it. So if you're listening, if you're in that situation, please let your chain of command know and get some help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think part of why it waits so long is what happens with people is when they're in these relationships, and particularly someone you love or care about, it becomes your new normal. I mean, you end up well, I guess this is the way it's supposed to be, and I'm just going to tolerate it. And then you just keep tolerating and tolerating, and some days are better and some days are worse. So you just stay in that relationship, and you tolerate it too much till it gets to the point where somebody outside looking in goes, my gosh, how did it get this bad? So people, I say that the moment someone violates you, hits you, cusses at you, does anything like that to manipulate you, that's a red flag. I mean, don't let it go on, because we're human beings. We're used to just what we call just tolerating too much sometimes. I think men particularly too. They think they have to be strong and just take it, and that's not the truth.
Yep.
And so you talked about the Navy actually enforcing that the sailor receive some type of treatment. Is this like a standard policy? Is there a policy specific to domestic violence as it relates to sailors, or excuse me, I'm tongue-tied, or was this just regular policy?
No, actually, domestic violence, child abuse, spousal abuse, period, I should just say, falls under what the Navy calls the Family Advocacy Program.
Okay.
And it's an actual instruction. It's the Secretary of the Navy Instructions, 1752.3, well, we say Bravo, B, but it's called the Family Advocacy Program. And so they are covering, the Family Advocacy Program is covering, they're there for the victims, the families, they have counseling, they recommend parenting classes. They have a plethora of resources at their disposal. And so I was reading through the instruction, and it says that their primary goals are first prevention. Mm-hmm. So obviously, when you're in the military, you go through a lot of training. So you're always in training talking about ways to prevent domestic violence and abuse. Then they get into victim safety and protection, offender accountability, rehabilitative education and counseling. That's referring to what I was speaking of. Mm-hmm. And then their last piece is community accountability and responsibility for a consistent, appropriate response. So I'm assuming that comes into play when you have a situation where it could be where maybe the non-military member was charged with an actual crime. And so the military or the Family Advocacy Program, those representatives would step in and make sure that they would try to recommend, some what the civilian person should receive, or counseling that is available. But they would also be asking civilian authorities to then press charges or whatever needs to happen that is consistent with what they would do to the military member. So the Family Advocacy Program is out there. That's their whole purpose in life. That's what they do, and they have some really good resources and programs available out there.
That's great. Is that available for veterans too, or just active military?
That is active military. But again, as we were talking about earlier, for veterans, they can go to the Vet Center and they can get those same similar resources. Those are out there as well. Counseling is out there for them at the Vet Center, or they can go to their local VA medical center and request those as well.
Yeah, very good. I think a male population that we don't think about often too is our elderly men, elderly vets, and just elderly men in general, who are often financially exploited by family members or friends or someone who they ingratiate them, befriend them, and they're lonely, and then they come in, taking their money away or trying to take away their property. So that population of men we need to also consider. That's the type of abuse too. So it's good to have resources for them, our older vets too.
Yeah, I don't always think about the financial abuse, but you're right. It is common among
Right.
the elderly. I'm dealing with something similar to that in my own family, where money was taken from a elderly veteran, and trying to get assistance. Like I said, has been difficult because of his financial status, and I think that's part of the problem too. When they're vets and they make too much money, man,
Yeah.
it's hard to get assistance or try to find the way around it. But I guess I'm gonna visit the vet center here and see if I can get some additional assistance with helping my family member through his issue with abuse and trying to receive services.
When it comes to seniors, Tara, and particularly men, but sometimes senior females, an abuser or a perpetrator will ingratiate themselves, like befriend the senior, become their friend, become close to them somehow. And then the senior will start giving them money or writing checks or giving their property to them. And then it's clearly financial exploitation. But when you talk to the senior, oh, it's my friend, I wanted to give it to him. I wanted to take care of her like that. But when it was clearly the objective of the perpetrator was to take his money. And it's obvious to people who are familiar with these cases, but not everybody understands how our seniors are exploited like that. So it really takes a special counsel or therapist to really help you through that.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree
Yep.
with that. And so, is there, Master Chief, is there anything that you would like to say as we begin to wrap up the show? Is there any phone numbers or contact information that you want to give out, and any last words you would like to say?
Oh, yes, actually, I would. Um, so first, I would like to say for any active duty military that are listening, if you are experiencing domestic violence, if you feel you have mental health issues, if you need help, I would first recommend that you talk to your immediate supervisor or someone in your chain of command. And if you talk to one person and they seem to not listen or hear what it is that you have to say, I'm going to challenge you to keep going up your chain of command until you find someone that will listen to you so that you can get the resources and the assistance that you need. For any veterans that are out there that are listening, for you to get your resources, I'm going to challenge you to dig through those old papers if you can find them. Find your DD 214 if you can. Dig through those awards that you may have kept and gather those papers together. Get over to your local Veterans Administration or Vet Center and get the assistance that you need. Also, I had talked earlier about a 1-800 number that I wanted to give out. So the 1-800 number, this number is for assistance through the VA. They can call 1-877-222-8387. Again, that's 877-222-8387. They can call that number Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or they can visit the Military One Source website, and that is Military One Source, all one word, .mil. They can go there and get the assistance that they need. And again, they can also go to any Veterans Medical Center that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have the ability to walk in there and get the assistance that they need. And also for mental health issues, PTSD, anything mental health. I was reading on the website that your military status does not matter, meaning if you got out with a dishonorable discharge, general under honorable conditions, administrative, whatever the character of your discharge was, it does not matter. They are there to assist you. So please reach out and get the assistance that you need. And that's all that I have.
Thank you so much. Sharon, do you have any final words?
No, thank you very much. It's all great information.
Okay. Well, audience, it's that time again when we wrap up this week's show. As a reminder, our goal is to not only help male victims, but also men find a path to save their lives and restore their identities as leaders, providers, and protectors in their families and community. We want to thank our guest, Master Chief Petty Officer Keaton, for being on the show. And a reminder that we will join you again next Wednesday at 3 p.m. here on the KWRH 92.9 FM and KXOK 102.9 FM and nationwide on the My Genre Radio Network, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Stay safe and have a blessed week.